Baruch atah asherah anat melecha ha'olam asher kedeshanu mitzvotav v'tzivani l'hitatif l'tzitzit. Good evening, Batya. Hi. It's been a few weeks. How are you? How's your time with your kids? Has been a while, yes. They leave tonight? Wow. You got to spend a lot of good time with them. I'm so happy. Hello, my beautiful friend. How are you doing, Pamela? Here we go. How was your morning at church? I woke up late, and my therapist canceled on me, and then my mother called me, and then I had breakfast with Rachel, and everything is out of order. So it's not really morning, it's actually noon. But here I am to start my day, a little bit later than I thought I would, but it's okay. I can forgive myself for not being able to structure my time. Yes, this is a prayer shawl. I wear little head coverings when I pray. Just cause lots of other traditions do it. Better late than never, yes. Indeed. I feel very self-conscious wearing an orange prayer shawl because this is the sacred color for the Swamis in the Shivananda tradition that I learned. And I don't want to be claiming that I'm a shaman, so I have to... Or a shaman. I don't want to be claiming a shaman. I don't want to be claiming that I'm a Swami. Right? Like the prayers that I say here are very explicitly trans-traditional. But I look, and I've got a little bit of red here, right? And a little bit of red here, but to take care not to look too much like I'm appropriating a certain set of cultural symbols, because I don't want to do that. How am I? I'm okay, Erica. I'm a little disgruntled at my lack of ability to structure my time and my internal landscape, because, I'd like to be a robot, I guess. But I'm doing well. I'm going to have a good writing day today, an uninterrupted writing day. It's snowing outside. There's like a foot of snow out there. We might lose power. We'll see. Yeah, quite a storm. So, shall we say some old words? Yeah, let's say some old words. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta et anat Elohecha ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך וכיוצא הדברים האלה אשר נוחי מצווך, היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ולכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאוהות על ידיך, וחיל לטטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך. וחיה, כי ויחיו אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאבותיך, לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב, לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית, ובתים מלאים כל דבר אשר לא מילאת, וברות עצובים אשר לא עשת, כערים וזיתים אשר לא נתת, והלכת ושבת, הישמר לך פן תשכח את יהוה אשר תישך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. What did you do at Disneyland? Universal Disney? Is that in California or in Florida? What made it the best vacation ever? Did you see Mickey Mouse? I know nothing about that institution. I know it's a very important institution. Tell me what it's like. So it's in Florida. You did see Mickey Mouse. Disney World is Orlando and Disneyland is California. There's nothing like it. Yeah, in 1,000 years, they'll be talking about the ancient temple of Disneyland. In the same way that I get to talk to you about the ancient temple of Nippur. They're basically the same thing, right? Places that draw large crowds to engage people's imaginations. You know, I'm not really a fan of Harry Potter's creator. She said some turfy things. Have you heard? You know, I think it's a fine story. I have a certain amount of skepticism in general towards franchises, or for like large-scale cultural mimetica. Smells like the ocean or popcorn. Oceany popcorn. Right, like, I mean, it's a good, like, she's an excellent writer, right, like, the hero's journey is an important tale to tell, but as far as, like, where I'm gonna put my attention and my energy and my emotional weight, I'm not gonna associate it with, a woman who doesn't want me to exist, you know, so, I don't know, I don't really think about it too much. I see no point in getting angry at J.K. Rowling, but I also don't see much point in supporting her. I live in the mountains on the East Coast. It's very cold here, very snowy. So, we're going to read a bit more from this story of Era and Isham, about the destruction of the world. And then Angal himself raised his voice to be heard, saying, "You have made the city of Dare to stand empty as a wasteland. You have shattered those who live there as if they were reeds. You have brought their tumult to an end, like oil stills ripples. Even I was not spared, as you handed me over to the Sutians. Thus, such will I do in remembrance of my city of Dare. I will no longer deal out justice. I will no longer regulate lands. I will dispense with all commands, not listen to a single word. As people have forsaken justice and taken to committing sins, they have recanted all virtuous conduct and plot only vile acts. Thus, I caused the 7 winds to strike against this single land, and any not losing his life in battle will meet death by disease. And any not dead of disease the foreigners will take as a slave. And any who have not met death from the hands of a bandit, he will find himself brought down by the emperor's sword. And any spared by the emperor's sword, Adad will wipe out. And any whom Adad has not obliterated, Shamhash will scorch. And any who travel the countryside will be plagued by the wind. And any who comes back to his home will the deadly stalker strike. And any who makes his way into the hills, he will die of thirst. And any who makes his way into the valleys, he will drown. For you hold influence in both the highest and lowest places. The city administrator will be heard to say that she bore him. If only I had stuck in your womb the day you gave birth to me. If only my life had been cut off and we both died at that time. For you bore me in a city which must witness its walls topple, to see its people reduced to cattle and their God as a predator. His net is so finely woven that even worthy men are unable to raise their swords and were themselves slain by the sword. Good morning, Joshua. And the father of a son will be heard to say, This is my son, the son I reared, and thus does he perform acts of kindness. But the son I will slay, and his father will become... The son I will slay, and his father will be the one who inters him. Then following this I will strike the father down with death, and there will be no one to perform the interment for him. While he who has built himself a house and says, My house, now that I have finished it, will rest content within its walls. And on the day I am taken by fate, I will settle there eternally. I will strike him down with death and obliterate his house, and then, after its desolation, will make it a gift to another. Gosh, this story is just so, It's just chaos. It's just chaos and sadness. It's all that this story is. I wish I could tell you better. Apologies. Apologies for such a grim... It's a ping-pong story. What is a ping-pong story? What, like whoever doesn't do this will do this, and whoever does that will do that, right? Like, it's total obliteration said in 17 verses. Have I ever read Night? Abby, no, I have not. It goes back and forth with no plot, yes. It's just gods telling each other about all the chaos that they wrought with their divine forms. So, there's a plot, but kind of not really, but kind of yes. Yeah, I'm sure that if I studied it more deeply, I could, because the problem is I don't know how to differentiate any of the speakers. Who is Era? Who is Isham? Who is Marduk? There was this new character that I just read. What was his name? Who raised his voice to be heard? Angal himself raised his voice to be heard, but Angal hasn't been in any other part of the story, right? So this speaker just, like, shows up, and we're like, okay, I guess you talk about chaos and destruction, too. So it goes. Now it's time for Arati. Yeah, the speakers are named once at the top of the paragraph, and I have no cultural context for any of them. And they all say basically the same thing. We're going to get to a better story soon. We're going to finish this story next week sometime, and then we'll start reading the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is much more narratively coherent. Hi, cat. Shall we say Arati now? Arati means flame. The words in Sanskrit go like this. Jaya Jaya Arati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Arati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Arati Venkantaramana Venkantaramana Sankatarana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Arati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Arati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati Mahakali and Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Arati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Arati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimurti Avatara Jaya Jaya Arati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sankarachaya Sankarachaya Advaita Guravi Jaya Jaya Arati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Arati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Arati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Arati Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Arati Jesus Grave Moses Grave Buddha Grave Jaya Jaya Arati Muhammad Grave Guru Nanak Grave Samastya Guru Namaha Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Natatra Suyobati Natandrakaratam Nimavidyobati Kutayamagni Tomeva Mantamandi Sarvam Tasya Basya Sarmitam Vivanti Om Gange Kayamane Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Siddhika Vervihiya Namastitam Namo Namaha Tvameva Mata Jabita Tvameva Tvameva Bandusha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Javinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasendriya Herva Buddhyat Madhava Prakriti Sabhavad Karomi Adyad Sakalam Parasmahi Narayana Hiti Sarmar Payami Sarvadharman Pravichaya Mimikam Sarvanambraja Aham Sva Sarva Papayo Mokshayami Masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you. Thank you so much for spending this early afternoon with me. I very much appreciate it. To you. So now we'll say Kaddish to conclude. A prayer of grief and mourning to remind us that we need not grieve alone. That we are connected in this strange, vibrant, desolate world. For the last 2,500 years, my ancestors have said these words in response to death. Yidgadal v'yidgadash Shema Rabba B'yama divrachio teviam lichmal chite b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayid kol beit Yisrael b'gala v'zman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shema Rabba meva'arach li'alam omei omaya yidbarach v'yishtabach v'yidba'ar v'yirman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shema d'kudisha b'rechu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbrichata v'nechemata d'yamiran b'yama v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shema Rabba meva'arach li'alam omei omaya yidbarach v'yishtabach v'yidba'ar v'yirman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shema d'kudisha b'rechu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbrichata v'nechemata d'yamiran b'yama v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yochol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Osei Shalom V'imramav Huya Asei Shalom Aleinu V'yochol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Osei Shalom V'imramav Huya Asei Shalom Aleinu V'yalechol Yisrael V'imru V'imru. Amen. Thanks. Thank you. I will see you here tomorrow to say these words once again. And until then, I hope you have a lovely day. And I'll see you in the Discord. Check out the link in my bio, please. You can join the Discord, or you can sign up on Patreon, or you can send a tip, or you can just say hi. It's so nice to see you too, Sarah. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day, okay? Bye.